2018 Ducati Monster 821, first ride. New middle monster keeps a lot of its old traits. With a quarter century's worth of skin in the game and 323,000 units sold, Ducati's Monster is an important figurehead in the world of naked street bikes. I'm a big fan of middleweight nakeds, as I reckon the recipe of around about 100 horsepower, give or take 10, a capable and sprightly chassis, and a set of wide bars makes for some of the best fun there is to be had on two wheels. It's an extremely versatile and approachable recipe, and that's why Ducati, and other manufacturers, has sold its own twist of the recipe in spades. The Monster 821 was never one of my absolute favorites, though. While I, like everyone else, was a fan of its throaty bark and up-front power delivery, the rear end always looked a bit disappointing, and the single-unit foot peg arrangement was simply annoying both to use and to look at. So, my ears pricked up a fortnight ago when I heard whispers that Ducati was to imminently launch a new middleweight naked, and it seemed like a no-brainer to skip straight to the conclusion that the Monster 821 was about to evolve into a Monster 939. Ducati's 937cc test Astrada 11, crucially Euro 4 compliant, has found itself a home in a wide range of Ducati's bikes, all the way from the hypermotard and new Supersport range, to the baby Multistrada 950, so why wouldn't it find another home in a Monster? Turns out, upon receiving an invite to ride a Monster 821 in Rimini, that the Monster 821 is to stay as exactly that, with no extra 116cc on the way. Switching to sport mode really sharpens up the throttle response, enough that firing out of tight corners in first or second gear will see the front wheel lift easily. In fact, with its relatively short rotation, spirited riding will see you twisting the throttle to the stop regularly. With traction control set to its lowest setting, I had the rear spinning up numerous times when overtaking traffic over white painted lines, before being caught neatly by the traction control system. The bars get a little flighty when applying gobs of power, so I can't help but think a steering damper would make a nice addition. But it's not available as an option. Peak power comes in at 9,250 revolutions per minute and the red line is at 10,500 revolutions per minute, with peak torque at 7,750 revolutions per minute. When the engine is really singing its heart out, there isn't much in the way of induction or airbox noise, just lots of valve train noise instead, the polar opposite of Yamaha's Mountain 9 and Triumph's Street Triple. It does, however, emit the odd nice pop and bang from the exhaust, and the slipper clutch works very well on super enthusiastic downshifts. What's actually new? Just like the Monster 797, the 821 now finds itself sporting the tank and headlight from its bigger sister, the 1200. And yes, that means it has the entirely pointless but unique and distinctive tank catch as a nod back to monsters from yesteryear. The pillion seat has been remodeled to be much pointier and aggressive, and the exhaust silencer has been updated to look exactly like the 1200's asymmetric design. Presumably it also allows it to house a larger and more durable catalyst, too. This means all three monsters share a closer design language and therefore look convincingly like siblings rather than a mix of friends and family. It's also worth noting that the 821 Stripe, launched in 2015 with riding modes and adjustable forks, was exiled, and no longer finds itself in the family photo album. By far the biggest change, though, is to the electronics, and this comes in two parts. First, the old, letterbox-esque LCD dashboard has been consigned to the trash can in favor of a thoroughly modern color TFT display. Second, Ducati have thrown a full-on electronics package as standard at the 821, and that means full ride-by-wire with 8-level configurable traction control, 3-level configurable ABS, and 3 engine maps. And sadly, the best bit, an up-down quick shifter, is only available as an option. All of this electronic wizardry is clearly aimed at bringing the Monster 821 much closer to its biggest rival, Triumph's Street Triple 765, and is exactly what Stefano meant by making the Monster 821 more sophisticated. There are a few other important changes too. The seat height is now adjustable between 810mm and 785mm. There's a low seat option, too, at 765mm, and the rear tire is now a much more commonly found 180/55 rather than a very choice-limiting 180/60 of old. With the change to the tank from the 1200, it loses a liter, 0.26 US gal, of capacity, and it's a kilo heavier when dry, which we'll blame on Euro 4. On that note, due to Euro 4, the 821cc motor is down 3 horsepower on the outgoing Euro 3 model and 3.5 Nm less torque, meaning the output is now 109 horsepower and 86 Nm, 63 pounds-to-foot, of torque respectively. Man, one of these days we should decide whether to run with all metric or all imperial cc, the rest, bore, stroke, compression ratio, brakes, brake, trail, suspension, wheelbase, gearing, sprocket, chain size, you name it, remain completely identical to the previous 821.